Domain number 4. So we skipped 3. Domain number 4 has to do with identity and access management, or IAM, which is the abbreviation that everyone uses for this anyway. This is all about identity management, and then how to assign access levels of control to those identities. Now, I can't say it's a new, but there's a thing out there in the world in cybersecurity called zero trust, right? So it's a very common project that people are going through right now. Even in the OT space, people are beginning to look at zero trust projects. Zero trust basically has the idea of getting rid of the perimeter, for lack of a better word, right? The idea is that now the identity itself is your security boundary, right? The person, the user, the device itself, the identity, because each device will have an identity as well. So these objectives are all about creating and establishing and provisioning identities to everyone that needs one, basically. You need to issue those credentials, and almost more important than that, you need to deprovision credentials as quickly as possible. Once somebody no longer needs access, remove that access. That is basically minimizing your attack surface, right? So if you have a lot of former employees and they're still in the system or on local user accounts on some of your devices in the OT space, those are just other identities that are available for bad guys, let's call them, to try to guess passwords, etc. Remove the identity altogether, you don't have that problem, or you've minimized that exposure, you should say. So the identity needs to have access, right? So determine the minimum viable access requirements for your users, right? Give your users all the privileges they need to get their job done. I am not saying that is not our problem. We're not saying minimize the privileges. We're saying give them the privileges that they need to accomplish whatever their work happens to be. But not everyone needs to have local administrator privileges, right? Same as identity, same as for identities, deprovisioning, same thing for access, revoke access as people are leaving the organization or changing jobs within the organization as well. And this one has an anti-pattern as well. Basically, don't look at provisioning new identities and access just as a check sheet. You know, I'm gonna go through and create 10 or 100 new identities today. Put some thought into that, right? Think critically. Before you do that, ask the right questions. Come up with a process, a formal process to find out what identities do I need in the OT environment and what level of access does each identity need, and have someone sign off on that so that someone's responsible in case that they're saying that more access somebody needs more access than they actually do.